Have you ever given your child an instruction only to be met with resistance, frustration, or a complete shutdown? Parents often base expectations on what they think their child should be able to do. But how do you actually know if an expectation is realistic? Setting expectations that are too high can overwhelm your child, while setting expectations that are too low may hold them back from learning and growing. In this lesson, we'll walk through a simple process to help you set expectations that your child can actually succeed with and feel capable and supported. Step number one is understand developmental versus chronological milestones. Children develop skills at different rates, but there are two key types of milestones that help us set realistic expectations. The first one is chronological milestones. They're based on your child's age and what most children can do at that stage. For example, by 2 years old, most children can use two-word phrases like one toy. And there are also developmental milestones, which are based on your child's individual progress in skills like language, motor function, and emotional regulation. For example, a child who is 5 years chronologically but functions at a 3-year-old level in communication may struggle with full conversations. This is important because if you set expectations based on age alone, you might set your child up for frustration and failure. If you meet your child where they're at developmentally, you increase cooperation and confidence. Matching expectations to your child's developmental level is very important to reduce frustration and making learning easier. Step number two to setting appropriate expectations is to really know your child. To do this, ask yourself these key questions. What skills does my child currently have? Think about their abilities in terms of communication, emotional regulation, attention span, daily living skills, social skills. Observe your child for a day or two and take notes on what they struggle with and what they succeed with. This will help you pinpoint realistic expectations. Step number three, keep tasks simple and manageable. You can ask yourself this question: is this task broken down into manageable steps for my child? Imagine that you have never run in your life, and I tell you, hey, Susie, in a month, I'm going to have you run a marathon. Initially, it's probably going to seem like complete out of this world demand. However, if I broke down that preparation for the marathon and I simply ask you to start running 5 minutes a day, it seems much more manageable. The same applies for your child. A broad, multi-step instruction can feel overwhelming. So instead, break tasks down into small steps. So for example, instead of saying clean your room, you can break down into more manageable steps by saying, first, put your toys in the bin, wait for them to complete the task, and then say, put the cars on the shelf, so on and so forth. So if your child struggles with longer instructions, give one direction at a time instead of long lists of steps. Step four, consider how your child handles challenges. Ask yourself this question: how does my child respond when things are difficult? If your child shuts down or resists, they may need extra support before increasing expectations. If they get upset during transitions, they may need advanced preparation. So for example, a child who melts down when asked to stop playing and get ready for bed may need consistent transition warnings before they can handle the expectation independently. Step five is to really use their strengths while addressing weaknesses. Ask yourself this question: what does my child struggle with? What comes easily to them? If your child reads fluently, give them a challenge with more advanced books. If they struggle with new environments, give extra support when introducing something unfamiliar. It's really all about balancing challenge and support, pushing them just enough to grow without overwhelming them or triggering a behavior. Step number 6 is to watch for signs that expectations need adjusting. If the expectation is too high, you'll probably see frequent meltdowns or refusal, avoidance or shutting down. The task will probably take longer than expected, and you'll see some signs of anxiety and overwhelmed. Now, if the expectation is too low, the task will be easy and they'll complete it fast with no challenges. They'll appear bored or disinterest, and there will be some lack of progress over time. So, to sum it up, step 2 of the instructional control loop is setting expectations. By understanding your child's current abilities, breaking tasks into manageable steps, and adjusting expectations based on their response, you'll create a path for cooperation. In the next lesson, we'll dive into strategies to help your child successfully meet these expectations so that they feel more motivated and capable every day.